Everyone, and welcome back to my channel, LiveLoveCrochet. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make this little summer dress. It's a fan stitch for the skirt and a V-stitch for the chest. Also we have double crochet for the straps. We have buttons on the back. So I'm going to show you some measurements and show you what we're going to need for this project. Okay, so we're going to need a 4mm hook, a pair of scissors, a measuring tape, buttons. We're going to need around about 3 buttons, a needle to sew in your tails, stitch markers, and a yarn of your choice. I'm going to be using Bonjour Baby, 100 grams double knitting, and this is 100% acrylic. And it recommends a 4mm hook. So now I'm going to show you some measurements. So I've wrote some measurements here. They're very similar to a dress that I did before, the summer crochet dress, I think it was called. So we have this is the important one. This is the one that we're going to start off with, the chest. So we have all the sizes, and then the yoke is going to be from here down to here. So before we start the skirt, so we're going to do the chest, the yoke piece, all in V stitches. So that's the chest and the yoke, strap length. And the skirt length, as I've wrote here, is an estimate. You don't have to follow me. This is just a guideline. You can do it however short, however long you want. It's your project. So I'll leave those there for a minute. So for this project, I'm going to make a 3 to 6. So these are the measurements that I'm going to follow. So first of all, what I'm going to do, so I'm going to chain until I reach 48 centimeters. So if you would like to get your yarn, I have mine here. So simply make a slip knot in your yarn. Slip knot, get your hook and start chaining. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and I'm going to set out my measuring tape. So when I get to 48 centimeters, I know when to stop. So I'm going to chain a bit, measure, chain, measure, just until I get to my 48 centimeters, and I'll meet you back here when I have 48. So I have just got to my length of 48 centimeters, which I chained 72. So 72 it took for me to get to my length, and I'm doing 3 to 6. So now we're going to get on with our pattern. We're going to jump right into the V-stitch. So what we're going to do is we're going to skip the first 4 chains, so ignoring the loop on the hook. 1, 2, 3, and double crochet into the 4th chain. Double crochet, chain 1, and make a double crochet back into that chain. Now we're going to skip 2, 1 and 2. We're going to go into the 3rd chain and make a double crochet, chain 1, put another double crochet back into that chain, into the same chain. So as you can see, we're getting a V shape. So then skip the next two, 1, 2, go into the third with a double crochet, chain 1, and go back into the same chain and make a double crochet. So we're going to do this all the way along, and I will meet you when we get to the end. So I'm just coming to the end of my row. Again, I'm going to skip 2, 1 and 2. Going to start with a V-stitch, which you should have the hang of by now. And then I'm going to be left with 2 chains at the end. So instead of putting a V-stitch there, I'm going to put a double crochet. So I'm going to finish the row with a double crochet, and then I'm going to chain 2 and turn my work. So now what you want to do, so every space, every chain 1, we're going to work into those with a V-stitch, so just like this. So that's my first chain 1 space. I'm going to go into that, just underneath it, not into the actual chain, just underneath, make a double crochet, chain 1, and double crochet back into it. Then find your next chain 1 space, which is here for me. I'm going to chain 1 and put another double crochet into there, and then again find my next chain 1 space, double crochet, chain 1, and a double crochet back into there. So that is all we're going to do until the end of the row, and then I will meet you back at the end. Okay, so I'm on my last V-stitch here, so just going to go into there, and then at the end you've got the 4 chains that you skipped at the start. So into the top of those chains we're going to put a double crochet, then we're going to chain 2 and turn our work. So this is how it's looking so far. So now everything, well, the whole yoke is going to be exactly the same. So we're just going to go into the chain space, just like that. So if you didn't write down the measurements at the start, I will show you now. So we're going to need our yoke measurement. So if you take your measurement from there, so mine is 9 centimeters. So hopefully you've got your measurement. So I'm just going to get my work, and I'm going to quickly measure. So I have 5 centimeters, so I need another 4 centimeters, which is going to be around about 3 or 4, about 3 more rows. So that is not going to take long at all. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to let you finish this, finish your yoke, and I'm going to meet you back when you are finished. So I've just finished my yoke, so this is what you should have at the moment. Maybe yours is a bit smaller or a bit bigger. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get our two ends that meet. I'm going to join them together. So this side you have your chain 2. Make sure you're not twisted. Go into your chain 2. So you've got 1 and 2. Go into your second chain and make a slip stitch. There they will be, you'll be joined together. So then chain 2, turn your work. So this time we're going to be doing the fan stitch. So find your chain 1 space, mine is here, yarn over and make a double crochet, make another double crochet into that space, chain 2, yarn over and make another double crochet into that space, and yarn over and make one more double crochet into that space, and you should have something that looks like that. So then find your next chain 1 space, mine is here, same again, 2 double crochets, 2 chains, 2 double crochets. So 1, 2, 2 chains, and then 2 double crochets. So this is what I have so far. So this is what I have at the moment. So I'm going to keep going around doing these fan stitches, and I'm going to meet you back here when I have finished. Okay, so I'm just coming to the end of mine, just got to finish off this one. And then when you get to the end, what we're going to do, you can see your chain 2, we're going to go into our second chain and slip stitch, then go into chain 2. Okay, so then instead of finding our chain 1 space, we're going to find our chain 2 space this time. So my first one is here, so again we're going to go into that stitch and make our fan stitch, and then find our next chain 2 space. So mine is here again. So, and this is basically all we're going to do for the skirt. It's really simple, probably the simplest project I've worked on so far. So that is what we're going to do for the rest of the skirt. I'm going to give you the estimates for the length, you don't have to use them. So mine is 3 to 6, so mine says 20 centimeters for my skirt. So I'm just going to measure that out. So if you would like to use my estimates, you can just write it down. So we're gonna measure from where we joined here. That's where we're going to measure it for our measurements. So let me just get this in the screen. Right. So I can't actually fit in. I'm gonna have to do it sideways. Right, so this is how long my skirt is going to be. You can either measure it there, or you can measure going down the side there. Okay, so the real nice thing about the skirt is with these stitches the dress comes out, which I really like. I'll show you now. So instead of coming straight down or having to increase, naturally comes down like that, and then we get a little bit of waves in it, I'm gonna say, little ruffles, which is so nice. That the dress is just really pretty and I really like it. Hope you like it too. So I'm going to now see you when I have 20 centimeters on my skirt. Okay, so I've just finished my skirt, so that's how it's looking now. So I've chained one at the bottom. Now I'm just going to cut my yarn. So I've chained one, just going to cut my yarn, leave a little bit of yarn to sew in. Right, so that's done. So now I'm going to show you how to do the straps. So what we need to do is we first need to make a row of single crochet, but we need to make sure we have a odd number for this. So get your yarn again and make a slip knot. And attach into your left side at the very first stitch here, closest you can get to the end. So then we're going to chain one, and put another single crochet into there. So as you go around, you need to count your single crochets, because we do need a odd number. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to switch off, but we're just gonna keep making single crochets all the way around and see what number we finish on. So I've just gone all the way around with a single crochet. I got 55, so I have an odd number. So what I recommend, if you end with a even number, to go back to around about here and either make a decrease or an increase. I would recommend making an increase because you don't really want to make it any smaller. So that's up to you. So 2 single crochets or single crochet 1 stitch together. So I have 55. So now I need to find out half of 55. It's 27.5. So I'm going to count round until I get to 28. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. And then I'm going to put a stitch marker into that stitch there. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to count around here and around here, make sure I have the right amount of numbers each side. Okay, so I have 27 stitches either side of my stitch marker. So now I'm going to chain 1 in my single crochet row and cut my yarn. So cut my yarn. Right, so now we're ready to do our straps. So what we're going to do is from the stitch marker, we're not going to count the stitch marker, we're going to count 5. So ignore the stitch marker. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Place your stitch marker into the one after the 5th single crochet, so into the 6th. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Place your stitch marker into there. Right, okay, so now what we need to do is we need to make our straps. So we're going to be working this side of the stitch marker and this side of the stitch marker. So I'm going to get the measurements for the strap length, which are these. So 3 to 6, mine's 9 centimeters. So we're just going to make a slip knot again. Have you got your measurement? So what we're going to do is we're going to insert our hook from the stitch marker. So count the stitch marker stitch, single crochet. So 1, 2 and 3. Put your hook in to that 3rd stitch. And we're going to chain 1. Oops, I'm going to start that again. So into the 3rd, chain 1, and into that same stitch we're going to make a double crochet into the next stitch, double crochet, and into the final stitch with your stitch marker, make a double crochet, chain 1, turn your strap and make a double crochet back into the 1st stitch and then into the 2nd. So you should be working into 3 stitches along the whole of the strap, chain 1, turn it back, double crochet, and keep doing that until you get to your measurement. Okay, so I've just got my strap to 9 centimeters and I've cut my yarn and left a bit of a tail to sew in. So if you'd like to put your yarn onto your needle, and then what we're going to do, flip your dress around so you're looking at the back now. So then we're going to count the single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You're going to insert your needle into the 8th single crochet. Just like that. I'm going to make a knot here. And then into the next, picking up your stitches, and it's the next, and then I'm going to go back into that last one and make a knot, and there it is sewn in. I could have sewn the tail in as well, but it was still on, so I'm just going to quickly do that. Quickly hide my tail. So that is one strap done. I'm going to quickly show you how to start off the second strap. Okay, so for the next side, we're going to go into the stitch marker single crochet, and we're going to chain one. Just going to take my stitch marker out. So we're going to chain one and make a double crochet back into that stitch, and a double crochet into the next, and one more double crochet into the next. So chain one, double crochet, and keep going until you get the length you need for your strap. Okay, and again I have finished my strap. I'm going to cut my yarn, then we're going to sew that back in. Just sew it into there. Okay, so this time we need to count 6 single crochets. So I'm just going to put my yarn onto my needle, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. And then I'm going to go back in, and I'm going to make a knot, so that's nice and secure then. And then into the next single crochet and through the strap, and into the last single crochet here and through your strap stitch, and then I'm going to go back into that stitch, make one more and make a knot, and that is our straps done. I'll quickly hide my tail. Now we're going to do the back. So we're going to get our yarn again, put a slip stitch onto a slip knot onto our yarn. I'm going to attach our yarn to the right top corner. So I'm going to try and get mine right at the top. Okay, put your yarn on, and we're going to single crochet. First we're going to make a chain one, and then single crochet back into that stitch, and then single crochet down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're almost at the bottom. 11, 12. You see this bit here where it joins together. Just go straight into this side here, and then start counting again. So you should have 11 stitches this side as well, but we need to put our buttonholes in. So I'm just going to make I'm just going to make one buttonhole for this one. So my buttonhole is going to go here. If you're doing more than one buttonhole, just decide where you want to put them along here. So 1, 2, and keep going, and I will show you what to do with your buttonhole when I get up there. So I'm at my stitch marker, so I'm ready to do my buttonhole. So I'm just going to chain 1 for my button, and I'm going to skip the stitch marker loop, and I'm going to go into the next one and make a single crochet, and I'm going to finish, and that will give me 11 single crochets on this side too. And I'm going to chain 1, cut my yarn, so that is the back. You just sew your button on this side, so I'm going to go ahead, go and sew my button in and sew my tails, and I will meet you back when I have finished. Okay, so I've just sewn in my button and hidden all my tails, and this is how it looks. Right now, I'll show you the back. So it's not actually that bad to put one button on, it's actually quite nice. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, I hope you found it useful. If you have any problems, you can comment down below, or you can contact me via my email, and I will get back to you. So please like and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.